the Brisbane fall off.
They suck.
They suck just straight up.
Straight
they
up.
sucked. I'll
They
give them.
suck right
I'll give
now.
you that. They were really, really poor in the game against GWS. That was really, really strange to watch. Just very, very opposite of what we would expect from Brisbane.
Complete
Nearly
opposites.
lying down and dying in that third quarter once it started to get tough. What could this look like a couple months down from now? Like, I still see this team being a final side. I don't think anyone's saying that they are well and truly out of it now. But, I mean, we've seen this happen before. But do you think maybe this time it sees them fall short of the big dance?
Listen,
I'm listening.
I want to preface this at the end, but we'll go with it now, given you just asked the question. I'm still bullish on them.
Oh, yeah.
They're still my flag tip.
I know.
I'm not jumping. I'm the furthest from jumping from this ship.
It's hard to jump off the ship, to be fair.
But I've given them excuses for the last couple of times. Oh, it's just a one-off. It's just a one-off. Oh, they'll be fine. This looked really bad. This looked significantly bad, and it has scared me a little bit to the point where I am questioning if the age is still there, if the fight, if the hunger, if they really do still want to, like, if they've got the players who are willing to fight tooth and nail for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're looking at Brisbane's injury list too, like Dan Annable, we were talking about how he's a fantastic little slot into, potential injuries.
Yeah.
He himself is injured and out for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Like, there is some very worrying scenarios going with that. Their forward line isn't firing as much as we thought they would be. I think Bailey has been decent. He's had some really good games at times. Cameron has been a level of consistently okay. He looked really good to start, slowly falling off in that sense, and was nowhere to be seen in that game against the Giants on the weekend. If I'm looking elsewhere, Logan Morris is still presenting and still doing his thing. Ty Gallup, who was their forward option last year, has been moved into the back line, and I don't want to say he's like struggling, but doesn't look comfortable in a sense back there. There's been times where he's been good back there, but this week was evidently not one of them. I'm definitely worried for these guys. I'm looking at other teams in the league. I think Freo very much have an argument to make that they can take their spot on the top or can take their spot in the grand final this year. Sydney are back into pretty decent form with an upgraded lineup. Geelong, we know how good Geelong are over and over again and would absolutely be hungry to get back there after how their season ended last year, and definitely wouldn't give Brisbane the light of day to try again. There's just too many options now for me to think Brisbane are a lock for the grand final, because that was my thinking throughout most of the year, even during the losses. These guys, you could almost always see a scenario where they make the grand final. Finals experience, grand final experience. They know what it's like to fight from behind. Every scenario you can think of that goes against them, they know how to turn it back around. But now you're also arguing, when does the hangover actually start to kick in? And was this the first sign of the Premiership hangover? I'll tell you what, it's taken a while for it to come around, but it does come around eventually.
It always
hits
comes
you like
around.
it hits you like a truck. It
always will.
Hits you like a truck. So
it's tough to answer, because you look at like a lot of their players, and you look at Neil, who's had a great year. You look at Will Ashcroft, who's taken a step statistically, but very clearly the impact isn't there. Hugh McCluggage has sort of struggled to get back into the form that we saw for the last couple of years. But like Zach Bailey's still having a really good year. Like Josh Dunkley's probably having his worst year in a little bit, but he's still doing what he needs to do and being that clearance winner.
He's playing his role still.
Logan Morris, Charlie Cameron, they're all having good years. Harris Andrews has been just as good as he always has.
It was a bit rough on the weekend, to be fair.
It was, but when there was so much coming at him, it's a bit hard. You're just like, what has gone wrong? Is it a system change? Is it a personnel issue? Is it a bit of a mental issue with the players? I think it's almost a mix of all of them.
Yeah.
When you consider, okay, maybe they don't want to chase defensively. Maybe they're not so tuned where everyone's completely set up in this structure and they're willing to put their head over the ball and win it every single time. Maybe your coach is just not dropping anyone, so you're a bit comfortable and you just know your position is going to be there no matter what, and that's something that he needs to change. Maybe with this handball movement, they're just not able to defend it anymore because it's just going straight over Harris Andrews' head. I could see something with all of it, but it's very clearly not just one thing, because if it was, they'd be able to change it. So I think for them, it's going to take a bit of soul searching.
Yeah.
It's got to be on the coach to say, I'm going to have to do something now. It's on the players to go, okay, it's not just we're safe. We've actually got to start doing the work again. And it's on everyone else around them to start going, okay, this is a collective. It's not just one person failing. It's our entire club.
This needs to be a moment. This needs to be a sliding doors moment where they go, all right, evidently we're a bit off the pace. We're a bit off form right now. It's time to click in, because fighting from behind any year, despite the fact that they've managed to make this grand final 3 years in a row, from outside of top 2, I believe, every single time. I can't remember if they had it in the previous year, but of course we know the stories of their comeback against GWS in that previous season with Joe Danaher to win their first grand final. We know about last year how they looked a little strange to start. They kept consistent, but fired towards the very end. This needs to be their sliding doors moment of the year where they go, all right, we have just capitulated on the worst time, at the worst form. Let's now take our bye or play these final few games before our bye and like you said, soul search, reset, work out. All right, does one of our main core need to take a step back? Does Lachie Neale maybe need to allow the ones around him, like Hugh McCluggage, who's had a rough season, like Will Ashcroft, who's ready to make that step? Does he need to take a step back for those blokes, give them the opportunity to rise? Or is it maybe the opposite way? They need to just fight harder. And then on the outside too, does their back need to support Harris Andrews better?
There's 2 names I'd be looking at. The first one's Cam Rayner.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be very much considering dropping him. And then the second one's Levi Ashcroft. I'd be dropping him as well.
Levi did look very off the pace in this game against GWS, I'll be honest.
Sometimes it is just too much for them. Like, he's played every single game so far to start his career, and he's just thinking, I can play however I feel, and I'll just still getting in. And then Cam Rayner's the other one, because how many times have we said, oh, this needs to be his season. This needs to be his breakout year. And he just never does it. And you just feel like, oh, he'll coast. And it's okay because he'll have a big moment here, but he's never able to do it consistently.
Yeah.
I'm looking at those 2 and I'm just like, okay, start with those 2. It could be just get them out and then get them back in within a week. It might just be that simple, but it's got to start.
Fair enough. Completely fair. That is Brisbane, though, for the moment. Brisbane, I mean, if there's, like you've said, if there's any team to prove us wrong, if there's any team to get back on the horse, it's these Brisbane Lions. So I'm excited to see what they look like once they're post the bye and post their little break.